Hello and welcome. Today, we embark on a journey, not across lands or oceans but through words. Words that have echoed through millennia, shaping cultures, families, and faiths. We are exploring 50 of the most significant names found within the pages of the Bible from A to Z. What is in a name, a sound, a label, or is it something more profound? In these ancient texts, a name is never just a word, it is a story, a prophecy, a destiny. It carries the weight of history and the light of hope. Each name we will uncover is a thread in a grand, intricate tapestry, woven with tales of faith, struggle, love, and redemption. These are not merely historical footnotes, they are names that have been whispered in prayers, shouted in praise, and given to children with hopes that they might live up to their profound meanings. From the first man, Adam, to the heroines and prophets who shaped the course of history, their names have inspired countless generations, offering lessons and comfort that resonate even today in our modern world. So, I invite you to join me. Let us travel back in time together and peel back the layers of language and legend. Let's discover the origins, the stories, and the powerful significance behind these timeless names. Perhaps you will hear a name you know, or even your own, and see it in a new and illuminating light. Our journey into the heart of these sacred stories begins now. We begin with Aaron. His name means exalted or mountain of strength. As Moses' brother and the first high priest of Israel, he stood as a pillar for his people. Then there is Abel, whose name signifies breath or vapor. The second son of Adam and Eve, his life, though brief as a passing mist, left an indelible mark. Abigail, a name that means a father's joy. Known for her profound wisdom and diplomacy, she became a wife to King David, her intelligence averting a needless conflict. Abraham, the father of a multitude, a name that was a promise, the great patriarch of the Israelite nation, whose faith became the bedrock for generations to come. We come to Adam, a name from the very earth itself meaning man or humanity. The first man from whom all of our stories in some way begin. Anna, a name filled with grace or favor, a devout prophetess who after a lifetime of waiting, recognized the infant Jesus and spoke of the hope he represented. Asher, a name that sings of being happy or blessed. He was one of Jacob's sons, and the tribe that bore his name was known for its prosperity and abundance. Barnabas, the son of encouragement. A fitting name for an early Christian disciple who was a steadfast and supportive companion to the Apostle Paul on his journeys. Benjamin, the son of the right hand. He was the cherished youngest son of Jacob and the progenitor of one of the 12 tribes of Israel, a symbol of honor. Bethany, meaning house of figs or house of affliction. It was not a person but a place, a humble village that offered refuge and was home to Mary, Martha, and Lazarus. Boaz, a name that conveys strength or swiftness, a wealthy and honorable kinsman who married Ruth, his actions a testament to integrity and kindness in a time of need. Caleb, whose name is linked to faithfulness, sometimes translated as dog, one of only 2 spies who returned from Canaan with a report of faith, not fear. Cain, which means acquired or possession. He was the first son of Adam and Eve, and, his story is a somber warning about jealousy and the dark consequences that can come from choices made in anger. Chloe is a name that, evokes the idea of a green shoot or blooming. She was a Christian woman mentioned by the Apostle Paul, and her household became a source of information and life for the early church. Cornelius, meaning horn, is really a symbol of power. He was a compassionate Roman centurion whose faith, honestly, opened the door for the Christian message to reach the Gentile world for the very first time. Daniel, a name declaring God is my judge. He was a prophet of immense wisdom and unwavering faith, who stood firm in his convictions even in the heart of the Babylonian Empire. David, the beloved. He was a shepherd boy who became the second and greatest king of Israel, a warrior, a poet, and an ancestor of Jesus. His life was, a symphony of triumph and trial. Deborah, her name meaning bee. She was a prophetess and the only female judge of Israel. Deborah led her people with wisdom and courage, orchestrating a great victory from beneath a palm tree. Delilah, a name suggesting delicate or languishing. She was the woman whose betrayal led to the downfall of the mighty Samson, serving as a cautionary tale of love and deception. Eden, a place, not a person, whose name means delight. It was the pristine garden where humanity's story began, representing a symbol of perfection, innocence, and a lost paradise. Elijah, a powerful declaration, "My God is Yahweh." He was a fiery prophet who challenged kings and false gods, and who was taken to heaven in a whirlwind and a chariot of fire. Elisha, whose name promises, "My God is salvation." The devoted successor to Elijah, he inherited a double portion of his master's spirit and performed many miracles for his people. Emmanuel, one of the most profound names meaning God with us. Not just a name but a description, a prophecy of the Messiah who would bridge the gap between heaven and earth. Eve, the mother of all, her name meaning life or living. The first woman, created as a partner for Adam, her choice in the garden forever altered the course of humanity. Ezekiel, a name of reassurance, God strengthens. He was a major prophet who received dramatic visions during the Babylonian exile, offering a message of hope and future restoration to his people. Ezra, a name that means help or helper. He was a dedicated scribe and priest who led a group of exiles back to Jerusalem, helping to rebuild not just the city, but the people's faith. Gabriel, proclaiming, "God is my strength." He was a mighty archangel, a divine messenger who brought pivotal news to Daniel, Zechariah, and a young woman in Nazareth named Mary. Gideon, known as the Hewer or Great Warrior, was a reluctant judge of Israel. With an army of just 300 men, he trusted in God to achieve an impossible victory. Hannah, a name meaning grace or favor, was a woman whose deep, heartfelt prayer for a son was answered with the birth of Samuel. She, dedicated him to God's service. Hezekiah, whose name means Yahweh strengthens, was a righteous king of Judah. He purified the temple, fought off invaders, and was, miraculously healed from a fatal illness. Hosea, a name that simply means salvation. He was a prophet whose own painful marriage became, a living parable of God's steadfast unconditional love for an unfaithful Israel. Isaac, meaning he laughs or laughter. The promised son of Abraham and Sarah born in their old age. His name is a reminder of their initial disbelief and, ultimately, their joy. Isaiah, whose name Yahweh is salvation, really encapsulates his message. He was a major prophet, and his writings are just filled with soaring poetry, messianic prophecies, and these incredible visions of future glory. Ishmael, a name of comfort, means God hears. He was the first son of Abraham, born to Hagar. His story, is one of exile and survival, but also of God's promise to hear the cry of the outcast. Israel, now that's a name earned, not just given. It means strives with God. This was the new name given to Jacob after he wrestled with an angel. Over time, it came to represent the entire nation and their, complex relationship with the divine. Jacob, often called the supplanter or heel grabber, he was the son of Isaac who schemed for his brother's birthright. But his life journey transformed him into the patriarch Israel. James, a form of Jacob, also meaning supplanter. It's a name shared by two of Jesus' disciples, and, one of them was actually a pillar of the early church in Jerusalem. Jeremiah means Yahweh exalts. He was known as the weeping prophet, and he delivered some really difficult messages of impending doom, but also shared profound prophecies of a new covenant written on the heart. Jesse, a name that means gift of God or God exists. He was a humble shepherd from Bethlehem, and honestly, he became the father of King David, the root from which a royal dynasty would grow. Jesus, a name that is the ultimate promise, Yahweh saves. The Greek form of Joshua, it is the name of the central figure of Christianity, believed to be the savior of the world. Job, whose name signifies persecuted or afflicted. A righteous man who lost everything, yet in his immense suffering, he wrestled with the deepest questions of faith and justice. Joel, a simple and powerful statement. Yahweh is God. A prophet who used a devastating locust plague as a metaphor to call for repentance and foretell an outpouring of the Spirit. John, meaning Yahweh is gracious. It's a name carried by both the Baptist, who was the forerunner in the wilderness, and also by the beloved disciple who wrote of Jesus as the embodiment of love. Jonah, whose name means dove, he was the reluctant prophet who tried to flee from God's command only to be swallowed by a great fish and, learn a powerful lesson about mercy and compassion. Jonathan, Yahweh has given, the son of King Saul, and his name really reflects his character as a gift to David. Their deep and loyal friendship stands as a model of selfless love. Joseph, a name of hope, he will add. So Joseph was the favored son of Jacob, sold into slavery, yet he rose to power in Egypt. And it's also the name of the faithful earthly father of Jesus. Joshua means Yahweh is salvation. He was the successor to Moses, a courageous military leader who led the Israelites across the Jordan and into the Promised Land after, years of wandering. Josiah, meaning Yahweh supports. He was a righteous boy king of Judah who discovered a lost book of the law and led his nation in a great spiritual reformation and renewal. Judah, a name that simply means praise. One of Jacob's sons, his defining moment of self-sacrifice ensured his family's survival and established his tribe's line of leadership. Judith, the feminine form of Judah meaning praised. She was the brave heroine of the apocryphal book bearing her name, who used her wisdom and courage to save her people from a powerful army. And so, our alphabetical journey concludes. From the strength of Aaron to the praise of Judith, we have traveled through a landscape of meaning. We've seen how a name can be a prayer, a prophecy, a burden, or a blessing. These are more than just ancient sounds. They are capsules of human experience, each one holding a story of faith, failure, and the enduring quest for connection with the divine. They remind us that our own names and our own stories have weight and significance. The Bible is a vast collection of such stories, and we have only touched upon a few. Every name, even those not mentioned here, has a history and a meaning that is, really worth exploring. They are invitations to look deeper, to understand the lives of those who came before us, and to see the threads that connect their world to our own. The lessons embedded within these names, of courage, of hope, of love, and of redemption, continue to offer guidance and inspiration across the ages. What is your favorite name from the Bible, and what does it mean to you? Share it with us in the comments below. Let's continue the conversation. If this journey has moved you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more content that delves into the heart of these timeless stories. Thank you for walking this path with me. Stay curious and stay inspired.